So yeah, I heard that they decided. So yeah, ABC broadcast affiliate Nexstar is removing Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely after he joked about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The announcement says the following: Nexstar Media Group Incorporated today announced that the company's owned and partner television stations affiliated with ABC Television Network will preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future, beginning with tonight's show. Nexstar strongly objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk and will replace the show with other programming in its ABC-affiliated markets. Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our nation's political discourse, and we do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located, said Andrew Alford, president of Nexstar's broadcasting division. Continuing to give Mr. Kimmel a broadcast platform in the communities we serve is simply not in the public interest at the current time, and we have made the difficult decision to preempt his show in an effort to let cooler heads prevail as we move toward the resumption of respectful, constructive dialogue.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. Okay. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know if there's anything else about it here. Yeah, it says, yeah. ABC is taking Jimmy Kimmel off the air after the late-night host claimed on Monday that the MAGA gang was desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. Yeah. Yeah, Disney's ABC is pulling Kimmel indefinitely after the late-night host's recent remarks about Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Earlier on Wednesday, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr addressed Kimmel's remarks with Benny Johnson, saying, quote, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct and take actions on Kimmel, or there's going to be an additional work for the FCC ahead." Kimmel's hyper-partisanship being his downfall is poetic, according to them here. Over the past 2 years, media research centers have found Kimmel to be the most partisan of late-night hosts. Yeah, it's interesting. It's so weird. You know, it's so weird to think about how I remember watching Jimmy Kimmel on The Man Show back in the day. Like, I don't know if it was like the early 2000s. I think it was early 2000s. It was him and Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel on The Man Show. And back then it was like he was chill. He was one of the boys. Like, he was just having a good time. It was like, you know, girls jumping on trampolines was the ending of the show. And like, they were drinking beers and like having a good time. And he used to dress up like Karl Malone, and he would put on like all the face paint and the makeup and stuff to look like Karl Malone and do like little skits and stuff like that. There's a bunch of like short comedy skits that they would do. It was funny. It was funny. It was like funny and entertaining. And it was like, you know, kind of a chill, funny, entertaining show that the guys all enjoyed, you know, like, and obviously you couldn't do that show nowadays. There's way too much polarization and like political, like partisan stuff going on, but he didn't seem like he was in any way that political back then. He was just about like, you know, doing man stuff, you know. It's just, and it's so interesting to see how far apart on the spectrum, the political spectrum, that Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla went. like, because Adam Carolla went way over to the right, and I think Adam Carolla has a podcast now as well, where he like talks. I think he interviews people, talks about all kinds of stuff, and Adam Carolla is generally like known as being more of a conservative-ish guy. I don't know if he necessarily affiliates with like partisan stuff, but he's definitely like more known for being like having some conservative viewpoints. And then obviously Jimmy Kimmel went the far opposite spectrum, went far, far, far left. And I don't know if he did that because of the money and because of like, because oftentimes in Hollywood, as you guys probably know, like you have to, there's very few people that have been very successful in Hollywood that didn't start like pandering to, typically it was like the left, just because that's like what a lot of people's politics are out in Hollywood. And a lot of people like are willing to sacrifice their own beliefs and ideals and moral standing to, embrace this new ideology because, it opens doors for you, like professionally, like it allows you to get the job that you want, or to get the role in the movie or the film that you want, or to get that sitcom series, or to get that TV show part, or that whatever, and a lot of people out there are willing to like, and I think Joe Rogan's talked about this on his podcast too, where like a lot of people are willing to kind of like let go of their old self wherever they grew up and take on this new role and this amorphous thing in order to get roles, get money, meet the people that they want to meet, open the doors they want to open. And they basically like have to pretend to be something that they may not necessarily really genuinely agree with, but that they know will get them work. Because like at the end of the day, like it's a lot of getting stuff done in Hollywood is who you know. And if you don't know anybody, or you don't have a big platform, or you don't have the connections already built in, like then people are willing to do anything and everything to get that contract signed. Yeah. Sign contract with the devil. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like, and so people are willing to like sacrifice their own opinions and ideals and embrace the ideals and opinions and morals and standards and beliefs of other people so that they can then make money or get success in whatever field they're in out there, whether it be dancing, singing, acting, music, whatever it is. Now, it's not always the case, but I've seen it a lot with a lot of pretty popular folks out there, just because that's the nature of the beast in Hollywood. It's unfortunate because, I mean, like I said, Jimmy Kimmel, when he was on the Man Show, super chill dude, didn't really have much to say politics wise. Just like kind of about like, American stuff, being a guy, doing guy stuff. And Jimmy Kimmel, when he was there, like, did kind of the same thing. Let me see if I can find the Man Show. Yeah, man. Look at that. Hold on. Look at that, man. Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel. 1999 to 2004, 6 seasons they had. Half-hour comedy show focuses on things men enjoy. Beer, women, and, well, come on, how much do you need? How much more do you need? It's just like, just doing man stuff. It's just, it was interesting to see how everything changed with him, The most revolting moments from Jimmy Kimmel, from Vice, naturally. Yeah. Man. Yeah, it's just crazy. Crazy to see. Yeah, because they would always end the show with girls jumping on trampolines. Man, so different. It's very different, I don't know when things changed for him. I didn't really follow his journey after he left the Man Show, so I don't know, what happened. I don't know what happened between when he was on the Man Show and when he left, and like what happened with him. I mean, he seemed like he was pretty happy and content with life, and like things were good for him. He was probably making decent money. Yeah, ziggy zaggy, oi, oi, oi. Yeah, exactly. He seemed like he was in pretty good spirits. Like he was making money. He was making TV shows. They were getting decent views and ratings, and people enjoyed it because it was just like, You know, a random, just good American sitcom that people could just watch with like comedy skits and stuff. It just changed. It changed a lot. And then after that, like him and Adam Carolla just kind of went their separate ways, and you know, things changed a lot. So I don't know, man. Time changes a lot of things, and Hollywood definitely changes people for sure. You know, it's pretty wild. Let me see. At this time, the philosophical case against laughter was strengthened by Thomas Hobbes and described human beings as naturally individualistic. I don't know what this is. Let's see. This describes, okay, so Alex Christie said this ironically describes Kimmel's show on a nightly basis towards conservatives and how the roles have now been reversed. Describes human beings as naturally individualistic and competitive. That makes us alert to signs that we are winning or losing. The former makes us feel good and the latter bad. If our perception of some sign that we are superior comes over us quickly, our good feelings are likely to issue in laughter. Sudden glory is the passion which makes those grimaces called laughter and is caused either by some sudden act of their own that pleases them or by the apprehension of some deformed thing in another, by comparison whereof they suddenly applaud themselves. And it is incident most to them that are conscious of the fewest abilities in themselves, who are forced to keep themselves in their own favor by observing the imperfections of other men. And therefore much laughter at the defects of others is a sign of pusillanimity. I don't know what that word means. Let's find out. Pusill. Pusill. Pusillanimity. Jesus. Means lack of courage or determination, timidity. Interesting. Okay. For of great minds, one of the proper works is to help and free others from scorn and to compare themselves only with the most able. Interesting. It's kind of deep. Kind of deep. Yeah, well, yeah, it's official, man. He definitely got canned. Definitely got canned. It's wild to see, man, how the mighty have fallen, you know? That's kind of what I think of.